What's up, guys? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see, let me start this recording. Give me 1 second. All right, good morning, guys. Today is Tuesday, July 25th. As usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. So just going over basic overview of these three instruments that we trade. Looking at US 30, look at the hourly time frame. We are stuck between this trend line to the downside, and you can see how they're holding this trend line. I am still biased for sales on US 30. However, you can see we have these two top trend lines. So before yesterday when this higher high was created, we ideally had this bottom trend line and this top trend line. But you can see the trend has started coming down, and that's why I drew this other top trend line from this lower high to this higher high. So this had just sent out yesterday because I was expecting at that point, because we got stopped out of US 30 on the 30-minute reversal. One possibility, of course, was retest of this trend line to the top, or retest of this trend line to the bottom, which already has happened right now. What I would be looking for here, and personally, I am in a sell for US 30. I told you guys, since we got stopped out of the reversal on the 30-minute, so this was the trade that was on the 30-minute right here, which we got stopped out at. I know I sent it here yesterday and unfortunately just got manipulated to the upside, and you can see price started coming back down. So what I did, I just went to the hourly time frame and then waited for a sell signal there. So I always use my my indicators to get into any sell or buy. That's one of my major confluences. So right, you can see number 6, first entries on the 5-minute. If you get stopped out on the 5-minute based on the reversal strategy, move to the next higher time frame. So unfortunately for US 30, we got stopped out on the 5, 15, and 30. Given that all the trades for US 30 I'm taking are 200 pips, it means US 30 has already pumped up for 600 pips, which is a heavy move. So for you, the probabilities for winning this trade right now is getting higher and higher. Given that we're on the hourly time frame, again, if I get stopped out on this, I move to the 4-hour time frame. So I think I've only lost 2% losing this US 30 trades, 2 or 3%, maybe 4%. Now for this particular trade, I'm in with a higher risk, but as always, I always tell you guys, never risk anything more than 1% for a trade. So if you guys want to enter this trade with me, feel free, but just always make your analysis. I already mentioned to you guys, we have this also top trend lines that can be retested. But if you want proper confirmation for this move, for this sell, wait for an hourly candle to close below this static trend line to the downside. Wait for an hourly candle to retest and close below, and then at that point, feel free to sell US 30. The other thing I'm also looking at, if you go to the breakout scanner, we are possibly going to get a 15-minute sell. So remember, pretty much the last 4 trading days, US 30 has printed a buy signal during market open. So this was yesterday during market open. And I know Liv is the one who noticed that. This was yesterday during market open. Last week, we had buys being printed during market open. If I'm not wrong, this was also market open. Yeah, because this is 13. This is 13, yeah, market open yesterday. Market open on Thursday, 13:30, that's 9:30. Was this? Yep. On Wednesday also 13:30 buy signal. 13:30 on Tuesday buy signal. See, Monday also, right? 13:30. So all the breakouts that hit that printed on the breakout scanner during market open, ideally would have given you a good amount of TP. So that's another thing I was looking at today. That's another thing I was looking at today, possibly printing a sell signal. So for right now, if you guys are not already in the sell, like if you didn't enter it last night or whatnot, just wait for this sell signal on the 15-minute time frame. That will give us more confluence. The other thing I'm looking at also, using the crosses indicator, I'm looking for the sell. I've been waiting for this sell for ideally 3 weeks now, because you can see the last time we had a death cross on US30, and the sell would of course come during a death cross. So the last time we had a death cross ideally was invalidated because we got a death cross and then a golden cross. So that would have ended up at break even. This also would have ended up at break even. So the last successful death cross on US30 on the 15-minute time frame was Wednesday, July 5th. So that is ideally like 3 weeks ago. So this is why I'm more inclined for sells on US30. And when we do get, especially this death cross on the 15-minute time frame, and also eventually on the hourly time frame, I do expect US30 to pump heavily to the downside. Does anybody have any questions for US30 before I move on to gold?
Yeah, you said you're still waiting for the hourly reversal on US
No,
30.
no, I'm in the hourly reversal as already. So I entered yesterday. Because
Oh, I
the
didn't see
hourly,
that
yeah.
signal.
So it's hourly. So whether you use the close or fast moving, just make sure your buy or sell delay is set to 0 and not 1. Because
Only
you're
for the
using
hourly?
30 minutes and above. Because remember, the purpose of the delay here, if you put 1, it will wait for a retest, right? So if you're waiting for a retest on the hourly, price might be so far up in profit that you're just chasing it at that point. So yeah, that's
Right,
probably
right.
why you didn't get it. Yeah. But if
Gotcha.
you put
But you're
1,
at break even now, right?
yeah,
Pretty
it's
much.
at break even. Yeah. But ideally,
Gotcha.
if you also want to be safe, you can put 1, maybe like during the Asian session, right? Price won't be as much as volatile, but you don't really want to put 1 during London session or New York session because you might just get a heavy spike in price.
So when do you change the close and the fast again?
Fast, ideally, you can use fast so fast will always give you a safer entry. So if I change this from close to fast, you can see the entry would have been much later. Where did that? I could have sworn it would be there. Fast, ideally on the 1 hour. But if in doubt, always use close because the way I develop, oh, there it is. The way I developed the strategy, it was based, so the fast right now would be shooting if this hourly candle closes. So ideally fast moving, if you do the sources fast moving average, you'll get a safer entry.
Gotcha.
So you
Okay.
can see,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
like right now, if you had the fast MA, the entry would ideally be on this hourly close in the next 18 minutes. But for me, ideally use close because that's what I developed the strategy on.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but if we do get a sell signal right here on the breakout scanner, I will call that as an official entry, that we're counting. All right, any other questions for US30? All right, perfect. Gold. Okay, so for gold, I did mention this level. I've been mentioning this level 1960 for a while now because if I turn off all this markups indicator and actually no, just the markups, leave the markups indicators on, you can see we have a daily bearish high at 1960.45. So this is the same level that caused gold to consolidate on Wednesday, 12th July, all the way to Monday, 17th July, because gold was trapped between this daily bearish high and then this 4-hour bullish high. But for me, daily zones, remember for me, higher time frame order blocks always supersede lower time frame order blocks. So if I turn on the zones indicator, for me to look for a sell, because right now I'm biased for sells on gold, for me to look for sells, I would also love to, when I turn on the zones indicator, I want to see I want to see sellers around the 1960 area. And there you go. When I turn on the zones indicator, what do you see? You see a small concentration of sellers between 1961.3 and 1960.5. So that's what I want to see. And you can see prices literally rejecting from this daily bearish high. But you can see buyers buyers do have the 4-hour bullish high, but for me, high time frame order blocks will always overlap low time frame order blocks. Now, yesterday when I was analyzing and also looking at the hourly time frame, you can see gold is trapped between this trend line to the upside from this lower high, touching this lower high and this lower high, right? So rarely will we get static trend lines like this that connect points of structures, right? Like 3 consecutive points of structures. Sometimes you'll be able to connect the first and the third, or only the first and the second. Like for example, this bottom trend line, I had only connected the first and the second before price reacted from that particular trend line. So gold, where what we have right now, let me see if I can hide these trend lines for now. Give me 1 second. So hide drawings, perfect. I don't know if it will hide the, will probably hide what I'm trying to do. So here on the hourly time frame, personally, I see a head and shoulder pattern. Yeah, if I bring that back, okay, since it's a drawing, okay, let me put it this way. I don't want to have too many drawings. But here, look at this. This right here, left shoulder, right? Between 1964, neckline is around 1951. So left shoulder, neckline, head all the way to 1987. Then back to the neckline around 1950, 1951, and then left shoulder around 1969. So there's your head and shoulder pattern. I know we have a bunch of trend lines that are making the chart a bit messy, but hopefully you guys can be able to get a hint of that. Let me delete that. Let me try and use this probably better view. What is that? This right here, the left shoulder. This right here, the head. This right here, the left shoulder. So I know I was anticipating when I sent the analysis for gold yesterday, we did have a, let me reset this. Right here, we did have this falling wedge pattern right here. From there to there. Wait. How did I? Let me try it this other way. A, B, C right there, right? So we did have the falling wedge pattern right there. And ideally with the falling wedge pattern, what you would expect is breakout back to the upside. Now, gold did break this falling wedge pattern, but however, did not make, what we would have wanted to see is creation of higher highs. But what gold now is doing, it's creating lower highs and lower lows. So that's a clear downtrend. So this falling wedge pattern may not have materialized as I expected. So this is, this is the reason why, like yesterday, I just zoomed out of gold on the 1-hour time frame and I saw this pattern right here. Now, how would I trade gold? We have this daily bearish high here. Ideally, the best sell on gold would be a break and retest of this bottom trend line. So if we get an hourly close below here, and then we get another hourly close to retest 1952 area and close below, and then at that point, you can take a sell of gold to ideally complete this head and shoulder pattern. And how far do I see it going? Gold can possibly go to the 1900s. And if gold comes back down to the 1900s, it's literally going to break that, because they attempted to break that, what was it, last month, but they couldn't. So if it does come back down to 1900, I do see them breaking gold down. Now, looking at the news we have this week, for the news week, tomorrow I think we have FOMC. Okay, now tomorrow's FOMC, it doesn't have a conference. So if you ask me, I don't, I don't trade FOMCs without a conference, because ideally you want to, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't see that. So it does, I'm sorry, it does have a conference at 2:30. Okay, yeah, so tomorrow will be a very volatile session. The FOMCs you don't want to be too scared about is the ones that don't have this 2:30 p.m. Conference, because ideally those are just duds. But for tomorrow, yes, you should expect some volatility and expect the actual move to happen at 2:30. The 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. move will ideally be mostly fake outs when Powell, because at 2:30 p.m. is when the chairman of the Fed, Jerome Powell, speaks. And when he speaks, as much as the move between 2 and 2:30 might symbolize like the actual sentiment of whatever they released. Let's say they release bad news for the economy on at 2 p.m., right? So Powell can come in and say, as much as we've increased the rate or whatnot, we expect the markets to recover in like a month or in like the next 2 weeks. So even though the release, the statement might be bad news, the 2:30 p.m. conference is what's going to determine the movement. And remember, I always tell you guys, the best days to look for reversals is days before heavy news. So days before FOMC meetings with a conference or NFPs, and the days after. So tomorrow, maybe London session for, I think it would be what? Thursday's London session will be the nice time to trade in the markets. Thursday, this is normal news on Thursday. This happens every week. So I'm not too worried about the unemployment claims. We do have the GDP, but you know, when trading folders, so for example, we at 8:30 we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 USD folders. I wouldn't be too wary about that, because what happens during this, unless all of them are red or unless all of them are green, that's when you get a nice move. But more than likely what would happen is that one is red, one is green, one is the other one is red, the other one is green, or 3 are red and 2 are green. So what happens is just a lot of fake outs at that point in the market. So I wouldn't be too worried about Thursday. Wednesday's move, tomorrow's move between 2:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. at night, that's when the real move is going to portray itself. And hopefully that might take gold to the downside. But anyway, that's just my analysis for gold, that I do expect that breakout. For any buys, same thing, right? For me to buy gold, I would be waiting for break and close above, retests and close above, and then continuation. So that's how I would trade. And if you guys know how I trade, I hate trading when price is in between two trend lines. So I like calling that no man's land, because anything can happen. And for me, I'm not that kind of trader. Any questions on gold? All right, US 30. So US 30, again, I don't want to miss this trade. So this is what I'm looking. I'm looking for a sell signal based off of the breakout scanner. For me to, I'm already in like two US 30 sell positions, but I'm just looking for a trade I can take on the live
And you're
session.
still doing, you said you're doing 150 pips for the breakout scanner on the 1 hour?
For the breakouts, yes, for the 1 hour, yeah. And thank you to Marcus for identifying the breakout entries on the 1 hour time frame. So yeah, so you know, I give you guys like access to 6 indicators. So just try and back test all of those indicators and see how different timeframes work. So for example, here, right, looking over what Marcus found. So this is US 30 based off of the 1 hour time frame. So remember, all the breakout signals you get on this table are based off of the time frame. They're not based off of the instrument you put here. So for example, here you can see we have 4 buys here and 2 sells here, and this is US 30 on the hourly. So let's just assume I change this to what? Apple, right? Even the Apple stock. So those 4 buys should still remain, and those 2 sells should still remain. See, there you go. So 4 buys and 2 sells. So the signals you get here are dependent upon the time frame and not the instrument. But I just wanted to clarify that. So if I come back to US 30 here and do like a quick visual back test, so we had this buy right here. And for me, for this particular, so the secret with this breakout scanner, so let's say we got this buy here on the hourly. You want your stop loss to be, so if this is a buy, ideally you want your stop loss to be below this shaded region, which is the consolidation region. Because if US 30 had come back down here, and this is how you can improve your risk to reward, because ideally for me, I use like a 1:1, but I know for some of you guys, you like 1:3, 1:2. But anyway, so if this is a buy, put your stop loss such that if price breaks back down to the opposite angle or to the opposite region, it would give the opposite signal. So for example, here, if price broke back down and closed below this shaded region, which is 50 pips or X pips which in this case, if you're using the default settings, it would be 50 pips away from the 50 EMA. It would have given you the sell signal. Now, this is what I was doing back testing yesterday, and I think, so here, if I did 150 pips, that's what I was talking to Marcus yesterday. For me, I'll be doing 150 pips for this hourly signals on US 30. And so this would have been full TP for 150 pips. This other buy right here, another nice 150 pips. And for this, so personally for this trades, I'll be going for 3%. I'm trying to up my percentage for even challenges. So this other buy right here, 150 pips, would have hit full TP. This other buy right here, 150 pips, full TP on that one. Then this last buy here, 150 pips, full TP. So let's assume you took this trades with 3% risk, or let's even assume 2% risk just to be conservative, or let's even assume 1%, right? So you'd have been 1%, 1%, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5%. So you would have been ideally halfway through your challenge. Now, the reason I'm taking higher, so the reason personally I take higher risks with this trade is because this is the 1 hour time frame, right? So this signals rarely come by. So whether it's the buy, whether it's the sell. So same thing, even though we want to do this on the sell, with the sells right there, right? This particular sell, of course, would have hit stop loss, but you can see. So the reason I would do higher risk with this trade is because it rarely comes up. Same thing with the, what am I doing right now? The challenge that I bought, that's only taking 15 minute and 1 hour golden and death crosses, right? They rarely come up, but when they do, they almost always hit full TP. So you can see this one would have been, and I demoed this to you guys the other day. This one would have been break even. This one would have been break even. This one would have, and for this challenge, I'm doing 2% risk for this trade. So this one would have been full TP for 2%, full TP for 2%. This one break even for this two. One buy, one sell, break even, one buy. This one would have been, because I'm doing 200 pips for this trades. This one would have been, would have eventually been full TP. And then I'm doing this only for the 15 minute and the 1 hour. So my logic behind increasing risk parameters is I want to increase risk for trades that rarely come up, if that makes sense. So for example, I wouldn't be taking 3% risk with golden crosses and death crosses on the 5-minute time frame. The reason for that is golden crosses and death crosses on the 5-minute come up like literally every hour or so. So I really don't want to be risking. So if I were to trade the golden and death crosses, so let me go ahead and turn off the secondary buys and sells. So let's assume I was trading golden and death crosses on the 5-minute. So this is to mean this is Tuesday, this is Friday. So between, in a matter of 3 days, I would have risked, if I was risking 3% for this trade, 3, 3, 3. So that is 9, 12, 15, and 18%. So in a matter of 3 days, I would have been risking 18%. So I really don't want to be on that. So which is why for me, I normally talk about, if you're using my indicators, probably you want to start on the 15-minute time frame. Now, if I'm doing 3%, however, on the hourly time frame with the breakout scanner, let's see, these were 5 entries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a span of, this is 10th July all the way to 15th July. So that is 14 days. So in a span of 14 days, it gave me it gave me 5 entries. So I would rather trade a strategy that gives me 5 entries that have a high probability of winning in a span of 2 weeks, other than trade high risk with a strategy or in a time frame that's going to give me 6 entries in a span of 2 days. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, so in the hourly time frame, for US 30 with the breakout scanner, I'll be going for 150 pips TP, 150 pips stop loss. But for you guys, if you want to make it safer, as I mentioned, let me go back here. As I mentioned, you can put your stop loss below the shaded region for you to maximize on your TP and stop loss. But hopefully that makes sense. And thanks to Marcus for that. Anyway, going back to the 15-minute time frame, we are still waiting for this sell signal right here for us to get the breakout sell on the 15-minute time frame, and then I'll consider that an official entry. For those of you who want to join me, I'm already in the reversal sell on US 30 based off of the hourly time frame. This is not an official trade. I know US 30 has burnt us using the last 2 or 3 time frames, so I just want you guys to be more cautious, or give you guys a better, not a better entry, or more some more confluences. Now for EU, I know we haven't traded EU in a minute, but you can see EU right here is respecting all the trend lines. So we have this new trend line on EU from this higher high to this lower low. Now, for you guys, if you can remember, during the beginning of the week, when EU was ideally here, I did mention that I was expecting EU to continue respecting. So I hadn't drawn this trend line here, but I mentioned to you guys, if you go on the Discord and go to Forex Majors, you see that I sent this analysis on EU, right? And this was 721. So that was what, on Monday, or that was Friday? That was actually on Friday. So I sent this analysis on EU, and I mentioned, right, I've seen this pattern before on EU and expecting a continuation to the downside. And literally that's what EU, I'm even going to take off that replay. That's literally what EU has done. It has gone, respected all these trend lines. So once you see like some of these instruments sticking, or prices sticking to these trend lines, don't try to go against it. Like, just go with the trend. And here with that EU sell, I know like Livy had caught an EU sell previously. So we also had a death cross on the hourly, right? When the 9 EMA crossed the 200 EMA to the downside. Now we have this new trend line. What this new trend line is telling us is that, and you can see this is another falling wedge right here. As much as I never used to trade these patterns, just looking at them right here. So that's another falling wedge pattern. Now, for me, what I expect on EU, this new trend line gave us something new, gave us some new information. What this new trend line is telling us is that, hey, I'm probably not going to keep respecting these trend lines you drew for me, and I'm probably ready to reverse. Now, for us to get a nice reversal on EU, what this new trend line, the purpose of this new trend line is telling us that look for a breakaway from this trend line, look for a retest off of this trend line, and then wait for me to get in this zone. When I get in this zone, look for me to break this trend line, to retest this trend line, and at this point, you can buy me. Because what would happen at this area, we would start getting a higher, I'm sorry, from a lower high to a high low. So we would start getting a high low and a higher high. So this is the information that this new trend line gave us right here. And you can see this new trend line ideally came up because of this heavy candle, heavy sell side candle that brought us back to the bottom of this trend line. So I know we haven't traded EU in a minute, so let's see what zones we are in. So if we expect this to happen, when I turn on, or when I look for the order blocks using the markups indicator, and when I turn on the zones indicator, I want to see some buyers sitting around here. So right now, let's look at, so we have an hourly bullish high and low. We do have a 4-hour bearish high and low, but look at this, what we have right here. We have a daily bullish high and low at 1.0880. So it's definitely somewhere all the way down here. So maybe it's saying that EU might come all the way down here, but let's see what the zones indicator is telling us. The zones indicator is telling us we definitely have a lot of buyers here, but you need to ask yourself, what order block can these buyers use? Of course, yeah, sure, they can use this hourly bullish high and low and take price up from here. But look at what we have down here. We have a 4-hour bearish high and low. We have an hourly bearish high and low, but down here, we do have a daily bullish high and low. So personally, I will stay out of EU until price gets to 1.0880. So until price gets here. So possibly EU might be coming all the way down here. So at this point, EU is not worth it for me to trade. So I'll just leave that on there. Any questions regarding any analysis I've done for EU? Or if anybody wants me to analyze another chart? Okay. Um, one last thing. So this is something I've been trading personally. I've just been playing around with this GBP NZD. So what I normally do, or what I've been doing, I've been playing these zones. I've been playing the 4 hour bearish high and low. So if I turn off the zones indicator here, I'm sorry, that's the markups. If I turn off the zones indicator, you see we have a 4 hour bearish high, 4 hour bearish low, and we have a 4 hour bullish high, 4 hour bullish low. So literally what I've been doing, I've been waiting for price to get to the 4 hour zones. And then I've been buying all the way here, and I wait for price to get all the way up here. When price gets here, I close off my buy, and then I enter a sell. Actually, I started this like I think it was sometime here. So I've been playing this whole region for like a few weeks now. So you guys be on the lookout for GBP and ZD or literally any other. And I know there's some of you guys out there who use other trading bots. So you can use this as a strategy for if you guys use some robots. So you can literally do when price gets to, and put this on the 1 hour time frame, turn on the markups indicator, turn on the zones indicator. If price gets to a 4 hour, and ideally it's better to use like 4 hour and above, so 4 hour and daily, but we both know, or we all know, that daily and weekly order blocks rarely come up. So you want to stick to the 4 hour order blocks. So I do have like a small live account that I've been literally playing this move. So when price gets here, I just sell all the way here. When price gets down here, guess what I've been doing? I just buy all the way here. So same thing, same thing. I've been playing around with this. So you can use this on literally any instrument. So odd JPY, for example, is another pair I used to like trading, even when I used to trade using robots. So same thing here with odd JPY. Let's see if we get that. Also, you want to stay away if these 4 hour blocks are literally next to each other. So you can see for odd JPY, we have a 4 hour bearish high at 95.5, 4 hour bearish bullish high at 94.5. So that's like what, 1,000 pip difference, and odd JPY does move heavy as well. So this one maybe you want to use, like for me here, odd JPY, I would be looking to enter sells at the daily bearish high and low, and then catch price all the way down here. The other one I noticed yesterday, odd NZD. Odd NZD is another one, and you can also use this for swing trading. Odd NZD is at a daily, weekly bearish low and daily bearish high. So I do expect odd NZD to push down. But that's just my analysis. So you can use both the zones indicator and the markups indicator to give you a sense of where price is going. Let's see if we're going to get this US 30 sell. So if this 15-minute candle closes here, so we need a sell signal on the breakout scanner for us to enter the sell. So that's if you're not already in it. For me, I'm in this trade from the reversal on the 1 hour. So we are waiting to see if we get this sell. And once we get it, I'll just call it a day, and we'll see. It should hit TP and hopefully get us back the loss from yesterday. If I enter this trade, it will be with a 1% risk. That should bring us back to like 2% for the week of July. So keep in mind, these trades are ideally only the trades I send out in the Discord, or only the trades that I enter on the live session. Personally, I normally have a higher win rate than, or higher return than this, because I don't send out all trades that I enter. So, because sometimes, right, I want to be teaching you guys, and worst case, you can ask me, oh, is this trade valid or not? So I literally don't want to be spoon feeding people. Does anybody have any question for US 30, gold, EU, or any other instrument out there? So US 30, right now where US 30 currently is, you can see on the 5-minute, we just formed a death cross. Also, we do have this hourly bullish high, hourly bullish low. So that's what's keeping price up for now. But if US 30 breaks this zone right here, right? Look at this zone, this equal lows right here. This equal lows are tied to this trend line at the bottom here. So you can see how they're literally rejecting off of this trend line. So when we get another early entry, if we do get a 5-minute break and close here and retest and closure below here. Now, but the real volatility to the downside will enter when US 30 gets to this hourly bearish high. Unfortunately, I would have wanted to see some sellers sitting here, but right, you always don't get that. So this is the reason why you want to use all indicators as a confluence for you to be entering a trade. So which is why I'm saying this will be the best entry for you guys who are not already in this trade, the sell signal. Um, let's see. Let me know if you guys have questions. I need to reply to something right here. See what else. Um, Let me know if you guys have any questions, but if not, then we'll just call it a day. But if we do get that sell signal, for those of you who don't have the any of the indicators, I'll send that trade in the group. But just make sure to check all your other confluences and not just hop in. So I'll hang on for about 5 more minutes for this current candle to close. And then we can see if we're gonna get that entry. I've been waiting for this. I feel I've been waiting for this trade for literally 2 weeks. This is right here. When we get this death cross, this is the trade I've been holding a good amount of leverage for. But yeah, so for you US 30, when we do get this, maybe they'll hold it till tomorrow, but when we do get this, we'll have like a heavy melt on US 30. I know yesterday NASDAQ did drop heavy. US 30 has been the only asset out here with its own mind, because NASDAQ ideally also has been dropping for a while. So this is the pattern I'm expecting for US 30. This sell right here, and then melt to the downside. So this is the same thing I'm waiting on for US 30. This sell. And based off of the strategy, right, even if you're trading NASDAQ, you would have won first trade full TP if you took this sell, second trade full TP, third sell full TP, fourth sell full TP, and you'd have secured your 4% with that one. Okay, so US 30 is breaking back above. So it doesn't seem like we're gonna get this entry during this live session. And I don't want to hold on too long, especially if people don't have any questions. Yeah. So US 30 might continue ranging, or who knows, it might break back up. But yeah, so for those of you guys waiting for this, if we do get it eventually, I'll send it. If not, it is possible US 30 can break up for a buy and take out this high low. So keep in mind the days like this before heavy news, they normally attempt to trap traders either one way, actually to trap both buyers and sellers. So they can literally push US 30 up. So what they can do right here, if they're gonna, so let's assume they're gonna drop US 30 tomorrow. So, and they know there are people who are trying to sell from this high. So what would you expect the market makers to do? They would attempt to keep pumping up US 30 like this right here. So take off the stops of all these sellers right here. And then guess what the buyers see? The buyers see that the market has taken off the previous high. They start entering buys. So the market makers keep pushing price. And then during London tomorrow, because remember, we expect volatility to die since the rate is at 2 p.m. Tomorrow, maybe during Asia session, you have consolidation or steady move up. And then tomorrow, during London session, probably have, right, just consolidation. And then New York session, same thing. And then between 10 a.m. tomorrow and 2 p.m., actually 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. tomorrow, market dies down. And then during FOMC, they literally drop it for the rest of the night. So this is what you can expect. I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen, because ideally for me, I'm waiting for that sell. But if you do see them printing a buy, a breakout buy right here, this is possibly what's going to happen. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because I really want this sell to come through. But if the buy does go in, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to enter that buy for US 30. I'm literally just going to stay out and then wait for this entry right here based off of the crosses indicator. So if you stick to the crosses indicator and you stick to the strategy, to this strategy right here, your win rate will be so high. Like if you stick to 15-minute time frame, and even possibly 1 hour based off of how we back tested, use on fast moving instruments, US 30, NAS, and gold, trade golden cross, death cross, and secondary crosses, and only the first 3 to 4 trades, including the original cross, your win rate will be so high, because right now nobody should be taking these buys that are printing right here, because already your first four buys would have already hit full TP, right? Because you got your first buy right here based off of the golden cross. So 1, 2, 3, 4 full TP. So right now, and you'd have made your 4%. So right now you'd have been waiting for the next 4% you can make. You shouldn't have been taking any of those other buys, as much as they would have hit full TP as well. Maybe like 20 back-to-back buys here would have hit full TP, but you don't want to push it. Yeah, so if you want to be safe, right, stick to the crosses strategy and just take the first four. If there are no other questions, that will be it for today. And I'll catch you guys later. If we do get this breakout sale, I'll send it in the group. If not, then we'll just have to wait. What's up?
Just in hindsight, what we could start doing is after the first four buys, just wait for the breakout scanner for the future buys.
That's actually pretty good. Let's backtest that real quick. Let's see. So this is US 30. So let's see when that buy was. I don't want this because this is a pretty much fake out. So I want a clean one. So this buy right here. So this was on Monday, 10th July. Monday, 10th July, right? So if we go to the breakout, oh, actually the first four, right? So full TP right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first four buys have already hit full TP, right? So so this one would have been around Tuesday, 11th July at 9:45. So let's go back to the breakout scanner to Tuesday, 11th July. So Tuesday, 11th July. So that one was at what time? This one was at Tuesday, 11th July at 9:30. Tuesday, 11th July. Okay, so you'd have taken this buy. I see what you mean. So you take the first four, and then you take this one, full TP. So now the question we should have here is how many buys are sufficient for the breakout scanner, right? Do we want to do the first four buys as well? Of course, if it's on the, we said we do it on what? On the hourly, right? Yeah, we should be doing this on the hourly.
I think it depends on how much it trends too. You might have to, throw that into consideration.
Yeah, let me see that. Tuesday, 11th July. So here's the thing, right? To be honest, if I was trading this, I wouldn't have taken this buy. So here's how I think of the breakout scanner, right? I want to trade when prices. So if I'm getting a buy here, let me use this. You want to look at this green zone or red zone, right? So the wider the green zone, the better. Or if you're starting to catch. So for example, you see how price was selling here and then it broke back up. And this was the first buy after a major sell. So to me, this would be a safe buy. This would be a safe buy. This right here is not, to me, I don't think I would have taken this buy. As much as it would have hit full TP, what do you want to be wary about while using the breakout scanner? You don't want to catch trade. So for example, here price was buying and it came back in consolidation. So ideally, if it's been buying and comes back in consolidation, what you would normally expect is move to the opposite side. And you can see, of course, here it didn't happen, but you can see here this buy, yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't have taken any of these two buys as much as they would have hit full TP. I think it's just relative, right? There are people who are comfortable doing that. For me, I like being conservative. So for me, to be honest, I would have taken only this first one and this second one. This one's right here to me just look, as much as they hit full TP, they just looked risky. And for me nowadays, I just want to be in trades that I'm comfortable in. I don't want to question. Yeah, so I mean, you can backtest that, Livy, and see how that works. But you can see here, the fourth buy came up on Tuesday 11th July at 9:45, right? So it ideally lined up with the second buy on the hourly time frame. So unless maybe you say with this breakout scanner, we do the same thing, right? We say the first four buys are, oh, I'm sorry, the first four trades are highly probable. So if we did say that, 1, 2, 3, 4 would have hit full TP. Okay, the sells 1, 2, full TP. We didn't have any more sells. This buys right here, one. This is 950. So for me, I'm saying I'm using 150. Stopped out, got and stopped out. Second one, full TP. Third one, full TP. So ideally, I would have been up one buy because one would have hit stop loss, the other one would have hit full TP, and one would have won. For the sells here, 1, 2, 3, 4, full TP, 839. Yes, full TP for that. This buy right here would have been 150, so I'm looking at 460. Huh. This one would have been too close. Would have been ideally next to TP, but would have, if it didn't secure or slippage, would have been getting stopped out. So yeah, I guess maybe for this strategy as well on the hourly, we can say the first 3 to 4 trades are highly probable. Yeah. Yeah, and again, of course, you can tell like during periods of consolidation is terrible because this right here is consolidating market. So this is not a market you want to play around with right there. Yeah, but anyway, you can backtest and see what works. Yeah, but for me, when I'm using the breakout scanner, I normally like to look at, okay, like for right now, this buy has been going on for, that's 10th July. So that is ideally 2 weeks now, right? So what I'm looking for is this green to disappear and price to come back in that consolidation, which is why we are waiting for that sell on the 15-minute, and price right now is not giving us that. But yeah, but just backtest and see what you can find, the probability, and see what
Cool.
would work, and let us know what you find. Any other questions? Nice. Okay. Well, you guys trade safe, and we'll see what the market gives us. Tomorrow we'll see what we want to do during tomorrow. I'll go over my new strategy tomorrow during the live session, and of course, I know I've mentioned to you guys how I trade news, so I'll go over that tomorrow as well. But anyway, until tomorrow, I'll see you guys then. All right, bye guys.